We give glory to God for another opportunity to hear ourselves today and to speak to each other, to talk with ourselves today again. It is by the mercies of God that we are all alive today. It is by the mercies of God that you are hearing me. And it is by the mercies of God I'm able to speak today. Quickly, I just want to encourage us as usual. What we really want to talk about today, what God has laid on my mind to talk about today, is to correct the notion that crying is weakness. Crying is not a sign of weakness. Crying is not a sign of weakness. It is better to cry it out than to keep it. Keeping that cry and that expression, trying to hide your expression, trying to prove being strong, or trying to show to people that you are not weak. That is not the right way to do it. It is good sometimes to hide our feelings, but when it comes to God, you cannot hide your feelings from God. You can't hide it from God. So when it comes to God, open up. If you try to hide it, maybe you are praying in the presence of God, whether anyone is there or not, and you feel bitter or feel hurt to the extent of crying. If you're in the presence of your Maker, cry it out. Cry it out. So crying is not weakness. I just want us to know. Crying is not weakness. So I have some things written down by the grace of God that I'm going to be explaining one after the other. So it is better to admit your feelings. Don't try to deny your feelings or try to make them disappear. Don't try to deny it or try to make it disappear. You can bring it to God. Bring your pains and that feeling of helplessness. This is not self-pity. That's one of the reasons why God is laying in my heart to say this. Crying in the presence of God, in the praise of when you are praying, is not a sign of weakness and is not self-pity. I need you to correct that notion. I need you to correct it. Bring it to God. If you feel like crying, go ahead and cry. Do so. It is not an unspiritual thing to cry when you are hurt. Let us stop putting more pressure on people around us. Let us stop trying to help them in our own way by denying them that freedom to express their feelings. Feel free to express your feelings. You might not want to do it in the presence of everyone, but you can do it in the presence of your Maker. You can do it in the presence of God. If you need to cry, please do so. When you are hurt, it's not an unspiritual thing, and it's not a sign of weakness for you to cry. Remember, God is perfectly prepared to handle anything you want to bring to Him. God is, you can't catch Him unaware. He's never caught unaware. So He's ready to listen to you. The people of old, many of them cried, and God heard them. So if you are in the presence of God, don't feel crying to God, praying and you have to shed tears, if it gets to that level, please do so. You don't need to show anyone. And if your own is demands that you have to do it in the presence of anyone, you don't owe anyone any apology or any explanation. If they like, let them understand why you are crying. If they like, let them not understand. But you understand, and your God understands. So, and even the giants sometimes contend with God. They contend with God. You know, they contend with God in the place of prayer. You will not tell me that Jacob was smiling or laughing or rejoicing with that angel when he saw him. It was a tug of war. And believe me, I'm sure he was crying. And you will not go unless you change my name, unless you bless me. So those people, the giants in the Lord, the giants in the spirits, they prefer to go away limping like Jacob rather than to shut God out. Don't shut God out of your situation. That is what I'm just here to tell you today. Don't shut God out of your situation. Crying is not always a sign of weakness. If you need to cry, cry in the presence of God. Let God know the way you feel. Let God know the way you feel sometimes. You know, He Himself, He knows us. He knows how He has molded us, how He created us. So when you are grieved and you need to cry out. It is unhealthy to deny your feelings or try to, make them disappear or try to ignore them. Even earthwise is not good. Earthwise, trying to hold that tears. Yes, you are being strong. Yes, I will not cry. I don't want to cry. You are trying to be strong. It's good. But earthwise, sometimes you need to cry it out. Let it out. Cry to God. If anybody cares to understand why you are crying, maybe in their presence, it is left for them. But don't shut God out. Feel free to express your feelings in the presence of God. So the summary of today's talk is that crying is not an unspiritual thing. Crying is not a sign of weakness all the time. Sometimes crying means you are strong enough to let God know how you feel. So let's stop trying to, suppress that feelings. It's not good earthwise. If you listen to doctors, they will tell you earthwise is not good to suppress that feeling. When you feel like crying, cry it out. Most especially, cry in the presence of God. Cry it out if you need. If you are passing through adversity, you are passing through challenges, and you have been trying to hold it, you can cry out in the presence of God. If you try to hold it, that means you are telling God, I can still handle it. I can still handle it. I can still handle it. When you know you can't. You can't handle it. You and I know that we cannot handle our situation, our problems all alone. So if you are trying to hold it, try to be strong. You are trying to be strong in the presence of human being, but why in the presence of God? It is not a sin to cry to God for help. You can shed tears. It is not an unspiritual thing, and it is not always a sign of weakness. Many people that have been preaching to us, have been advising people, you are a man, you don't have to cry. They need to cry, let them cry it. It's not a sin. Let that tears, let it come out. Free yourself. Sometimes when you cry to satisfaction, you feel relieved. Yes, you feel relieved. It's just that you don't want to do it in the excess. Don't overdo it. You can can be sad, you can have hurt feelings, and you know the only way to express it, you say, it's only female or only girls, only women that know how to cry. And that is why so many of our men, they are very wicked. Yes, that is why some men are wicked, because they have been made to believe that if they cry, they are weak. So they will suppress that hurt, that feelings, and it will be accumulating. Yeah, it sounds funny, it's not funny. It will be accumulating. That's why many of them are so wicked, are so heartless, because they are not being given the opportunity to express themselves, to express that feeling, to open up. It is not a good thing. That's why you ask a man that is sad, the wife will ask, what's wrong with you? Nothing. I'm okay, I'm fine. And you know that he's not okay, he's not fine. He's trying to suppress it so that they will not think he's weak. That is why they are wicked. Yes, it's one of the reasons why men are wicked. Yes, it's one of the reasons why they are wicked. So please, if you need to cry it out. Whoever wants to console you can go ahead and console you. But just do it, most especially in the presence of God. Yes, it's not a sign of weakness all the time. And it's not an unspiritual thing. It's not a sin. So please let it out. Let it out. That's all that I have for us to do. If you have, suggestion or contribution or comment, that's why we call it Let's Talk. So we are supposed to talk, to rub minds. So if you have any question or contribution or any other thing you want to add to it, please go ahead. You are free to do so. So that's why we are going to pause today by the grace of God. Please share it. Let's keep on talking to each other. I hope you are enjoying our talks. Let's keep on talking to each other. Let's keep on expressing our minds. Let's keep on doing it together. And I believe as we are doing it, we'll be liberating ourselves. We're getting that freedom that we need. All those things that you think they are sin, that are not really sin. I'm still going to be talking about many of them. That they are not really sin. But we see them as sin because of the people around us, because of what people have told us, which is not the mind of God. It's not according to how God sees it. Remember,